Deze is hartstikke als een test.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? It is episode 222. That just sounds crazy, and I almost wrote it wrong. I actually put 122 because it just didn't seem real to me. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I have to go back and edit this. 222, and we are talking about the 2024 Warrior Cup. And one more thing, because we hadn't done this in a while, and it's always up here. But thank you to Virtual Fight Tour, one of our sponsors, and to Jesse Ray for all you guys do for the sport. And I'm looking forward to some new announcements coming up this year for 2024.
VFT
All right, let's get into it, Alex.
And I'm excited about what they got coming up. But yes, you're right, Jeff. We have about, I don't know, I'd say a week's worth of content to go over tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let you guys know, if you're listening to the pod, if you're watching us, there's going to be a lot. Yes, we welcome the comments. We welcome the questions. So chime in early and often. But
yes, yeah. And we are going to do a show Wednesday as well. So if we have to stop and just say, hey, we'll just bring Peyton on for the next one, who knows? But have some fun. Please comment, guys. We want all your comments, shares. It was a big event. And yeah, both of us were really heavily involved with this event. So
dude,
in a lot of different ways, multiple ways.
I want to actually start with that a little bit. So yeah, I'm local-ish. You'll never hear me say I'm from Chicago. Okay. I'm not. I'm from Elgin, which ironically, Elgin is actually older than Chicago, but that's a whole other thing. But anyway, I'm from Elgin. Okay. I don't say I'm from Chicago. Yeah, it's in the Chicago land. I might say that. But even then, so Friday morning, I fully anticipated being there right away. Nope, that didn't happen. All right. So yeah, there was a winter advisory, lots of winter weather. So for you guys who were trying to get out here Friday and didn't, there was quite a few people.
There's a lot.
Had flights, couldn't make them. So
and it
was I planned to get there, and it literally, no exaggeration, and I'm good at this, took me 3 hours worth of shoveling. Just crazy. Because then, you get to do it, and all these people from cold weather states, all of my Wisconsin peeps can vouch for this. You shovel your driveway, your neighbors, they don't know what they're doing. You see them drive over to get out. You're like, you guys just I got you. And then you do, then you got to get the walkways, and you got to get the sidewalk. And then you go, now your patio. And then as soon as you finish, you turn around. It's like you never even did anything, right? It was so rough. It was so bad. So, and it was snowing still Friday night.
Yeah.
I came back home. I didn't stay at the hotel. I came back home like crazy late because,
Right.
and woke up at like 5 to start shoveling because I went out there, promises the case. It was right up to my chest in just snow mounds because the plows come through and they plow everything in.
Yeah.
You can't shovel none of that. All right.
No.
I was busting it up with my hands and carrying ice boulders to the side. Yeah, dude. And then after all of that, shoveled for probably like an hour and 15, hour and 20 to go stand and judge all day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's just nutty.
It was a long weekend, but it was a great weekend. Like even though it was long, I still think they made so many improvements, and it ran better, smoother, and was better than last year. And they took a lot of the advice that so many people gave them. And I just feel like, to me, this is probably the best Warrior Cup that I have been to. Now, again, I haven't been to as many as you have, or a lot of people have. I think I've only been to 5. This is probably on my 5th one. So,
yeah.
To me, it was my best one.
It's the best one I've been to as well. It was so organized that I missed a lot.
Right.
Same. It was so organized because, like, example, Saturday, I get there first thing Saturday morning. As soon as I can get there, and I get there, and I start judging, senior fighting right away, and I judged fighting I didn't see a form. I did not see a single form. So Jeff,
Right.
this newsflash, guys. Jeff's going to talk about forms. I'm going to talk about fighting.
Yeah.
Right? I know it was a big shocker to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. But Friday was a little different. You get the mix of it, but it was just crazy. That's
Yeah.
all there was.
It
They were
was.
very organized. Shout
Yeah.
out to Hunter. Shout
Yeah.
out to Sharky. Shout out to the whole AKA crew.
Ethan,
And
yeah.
Nick Schneider. Nick Schneider stepped up big time with that.
Nick Snyder was killing it, man. Nick Snyder, the whole team, Sport Martial Arts
whole
team,
team.
Head Action, Pro Mac, everybody did a great
Yep.
job. Jeannie, yeah, I did. It was about 14 forms I ended up doing this weekend. Yeah.
You see, she said 15 as a joke. Like nobody could really do that. Yeah.
Close. Yeah.
You were one off of the exaggeration.
So what's funny is that she was sitting there. So again, this was really organized on Friday. I was done with all my events by 2:15, but I did like 6 in a row back to back. I went from one stage to the other because I was doing the 40-year-old and the 30-year-old divisions. And then after I already did the Korean challenge. So that's multiple rounds. And she was sitting there watching all of it. And she was just like, oh my God.
Dude, that's the thing. Like 14-year-olds do that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's true.
Like by the time you're like 17, you're like, nah, I've already picked a lane. I know where I'm at. Yeah, I'm gonna do multiple divisions, but I'm not doing everything. And
Well,
then when you're an adult, like most of the time, they're like, this is my thing.
Yeah.
You went the opposite direction. You're like,
Well,
I'm gonna do everything.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. And I love that we get the opportunity to have a shot at the Warrior Cup, and the same thing with the senior diamond ring. And even when they do it at the battle, but man, they make you senior competitors work extra to get on stage, because I tell you what, you have to do your divisions, you have to do your grand, and then you have to go against the other grand winners just to get a shot on stage, and then do it again. So there's always a little bit more extra stuff, it seems, as you get a little older on that, if you want to continue being successful. But you know what, I'm just blessed for the opportunity. I'd say let's go ahead and address the I said the elephant in the room, but just my experience, my weekend, how it was. Like I said, I won my first NASCA senior grand in weapons this weekend, which was, I guess, in some ways a surprise. I'm probably more known as a forms competitor, but won that. That was, dude, our senior grands divisions are just stacked. And it was great to be a part of that. So that was cool. But you know what? I didn't really get to take that time and like enjoy that, because that was my first event of the day, and I had to run over and do Korean. And let's talk about that. Ben Jones does Korean forms and kills it, and that was fun. He got 3rd place in that. His first time. We had 18 in the division. He went about like 6th or 7th. And then I did that form. Won that one, ran back over and did the forms grand for the senior for the 30 plus. Got runner up in that one. Then had to do the overall against the women's winner of the senior grand for weapons grand. And that was actually another great friend of mine from Mexico that we used to battle many times for overall grands in NBL, Lauren Marquez. And so I won that, and then waiting around and figuring out what's next. And then guess what? Traditional grands, and me and Mason go head to head, and he wins that one. So it was
He's
just
damn good,
busy, man. And then so I'm on stage twice. They put the Korean finals, the Korean challenge on stage. So I'm going against Michael Brumet. That goes after the Weapons Warrior Cup. Okay, and here's the deal, just so I can tell everyone, my mindset of going into this was like, all right, this is my opportunity to have some fun and show everyone how to put on a show. Here's another thing, without music. All right. You don't need, wow, that's funny.
That's funny.
I miss seeing you.
I don't want to stop your conversation, but the comment was hilarious.
Yes. Eric and Ronnie are awesome. They do this every event.
Oh, they were the business. They were the
best
bomb.
in the business, and they do a great job communicating with everyone and running the show and also setting up before as well. So
Can we give it like out of 5 stars? What would you give overall before we get into like all our stories and everything of the tournament? And we have a lot of them, guys.
Yeah.
We have so many great things to talk about. What would you give it out of 5 stars? What would you give this tournament?
This tournament, I think so. Last year and the year before, I think I gave it like 3.5 or something. This year, it would be like 4.75.
I think I give it a 5.
Yeah, I don't ever give perfect scores, but because
I know, but I'm trying to think of what it could have been.
Yeah,
versus what it was.
Because honestly, people want to complain about how it went long, dude. You know why it went long? There's three stages that both of them had to, like 6 divisions on each of those stages had to be split because there were so many competitors.
You mean the eliminations?
Yeah, 30 people in the 28 to 30 people in the 16-17 division, 20 to 38 people in the 14-15 division, and then some of the adult divisions the same thing. So it's not like it was they didn't do anything wrong. It was just life. It's just part of it. They were being success. It's a success, right? So
and then when the divisions are that big,
yes, and they were new.
This is where it's at. Nobody ever, it's the thing. Nobody ever complained that the Battle of Atlanta men's team fighting took 4 hours.
Right.
Because it's the Battle of Atlanta and there's 50 teams and you're like, you buckle up. Nobody ever complains about the Irish Open being long.
Right.
Right. Because you just know you're there, it's going to be long. But both of those events, what they have in common with what happened this past weekend was organized.
Yep.
This tournament was very well organized.
Very organized. And it just had it all. And they also, I got to give them credit too. They stepped it up and went to a lot more money. And that was, a big applause and a big thumbs up as well. So was excited to see that. I just think overall it was a great event. One of my favorite ones. And yeah, they added a bunch of divisions this year in NASCA, but also even their non-NASCA divisions, were big too. So definitely cool to see.
Okay, where do we go first, Jeff?
As far as like with the finals. So when I went on stage, what did you expect for me to do but to try to put on a show? And that's just what it is. It's funny to me because people, and we've talked about this before, people seem to think that you have to have music to entertain people or to captivate the audience, right? I think that
you did not.
And I think that's something that was missing. Honestly, I finally watched the thing today, the live stream today, and Jackson and Joey do an amazing job. And but that was one thing I think that wasn't talked about, because I think that's something that hopefully we can teach our younger competitors, and we can teach people how to, to captivate an audience without music, right? And so I just tell you what, it was just fun. And I'm just blessed to have that moment. I've had many in NBL, one other in NASCA, but that wasn't even really a NASCA like division. It was the Battle of Atlanta. When they had the thing that Carmichael put on that year, and where I did Intergalactic.
Oh, yeah. That was dope.
Yeah, but that was probably half of the crowd that was there last night. Saturday night was huge, right? It was huge. And so that was just fun, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I didn't expect the standing ovation and the craziness from all the crowd. That was fun. And that was just exciting and a blessing. And I don't think any of it was not genuine or mean-spirited or anything. It was just I took them on a ride and they didn't want it to stop. So, but now I'll let you
say
talk.
we have it because there's a lot of people probably on listening that maybe didn't see that moment, that were still at the tournament, and still a lot of people that didn't go to the tournament. So let's just say what happened. I'll say it. It's okay. I won't add anything to it. Jeff put on a show, much like the others in the division put on a show. I feel like Jeff's performance was better than some. Jeff's scores did not reflect his performance. And it was pretty painfully obvious that everybody in the room felt the same way.
Right. It wasn't a small
when I saw that I kind of like, I didn't see it coming. I feared that it would. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it coming.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
All right. And I think I didn't want to see it coming is what it was.
Yeah.
But I feared like, oh, don't do this, guys. And they were low, right? It's not just it's not just that you didn't win, is that the scores were low.
And I think that's what I think. I think in some ways, and again, I think some overreacted to the response to the crowd, because it wasn't that they were saying that
They were boos, guys. Guys, that's what it was. They were
won,
big time boos. The whole ballroom in unison for an extended period of time let out a lot of boos. I actually don't think I remember a moment in a finals for a tournament that had boos quite like that. I can remember a person getting booed because of like an unsportsmanlike thing during a fight.
Right.
I don't think I ever remember a form getting a time where someone got booed because of the scores they got from a form. I don't ever remember that.
Yeah, well, the judging being booed, that's what you mean? Yeah,
that's what I mean. And it was, listen, people can be upset, but like, listen, the fans, us customers, let's remind that customers, right, are showing their emotion just like they do when they cheer.
Exactly, there, Drew. They weren't booing Jake. They weren't booing Esteban. They were booing the low scores.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And no problem, right? Because like if you just say like Esteban Tremblay wins or anybody, if you could just replace the winner with anybody, like nobody's like, okay, this stuff happens. But when they were booing the score,
just like if, say, you're at a basketball game and the ref does a call you didn't like, just like if you're at a football, it's just a natural thing that happens, right?
Listen, so I was judging in the eliminations. Guys were booing us when we were judging fighting. You think, listen to this cushy posh scenario. When you're a forms judge, you get to sit down and have people shield you. When you're a fighting judge, you're literally dodging and jumping out of the way. People will boo you and come right in your face and do it, right? And it's okay to do that. It's like, we get it. You can't just want the fan involvement when it's positive, right? Listen, don't be upset about the boo. Take the boo. That means your people are invested. That means they like the product. They don't like the outcome, but they like the product.
Right.
When they stop booing, they're also going to stop cheering. And now you've lost your audience. You know what I mean? When your product is no longer like sellable, viable, marketable, valuable piece for anybody to consume, right? Nobody cares anymore. You want them to care. We all care. This is good. So yeah, you got booed. Be thankful you got booed.
Right.
And I know that sounds like weird, but be thankful you got booed.
But again, I still
at
think
the same time, stop
Alex,
making it happen to my guy Jeff.
It's okay. But
my last thing.
But no, what I'm saying is also we're all grown men and women up there, If it was done at for the junior divisions, I think that would be, that would be definitely, one thing. But again, I don't think it was and actually not everyone can get a 9, not everyone can get, an 8, a 7, a 6, that's just the way it is. And I didn't have a problem with it. I just think some people kind of overreacted and kind of took away the idea of, hey, of what I did do, right? Which, what did I do? I took everyone on a ride and got them so pumped up that they were excited, right? They were so invested. And I think that's what we need to teach people is how to perform. And it's not just what you do, it's how you do it, right?
And I'm going to tell you now. Here's the sad thing.
That's it. I'll stop talking about myself.
Everything you said is true. Everything. But the sad thing is that people need to understand that at one point, I mean, I know he doesn't look like it, but Jeff Doss is not a vampire. All right. He's not immortal. Okay. He's not. I don't know what everybody thinks he is. Like, next time, buddy. You know, at one
Yeah.
point, Jeff won't be here. And you know what you're going to do? That's the time when you're going to be like, dude, Jeff Doss was probably the best we've ever had. Right? Listen, and I had to check people and correct them. There was people I was judging and they were like, man, I used to watch you all the time, man. When you were fighting, I used to watch you, dude. You were the bomb. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Stop. You remember a tournament and where I was fighting. But let's be honest. If I was fighting and Ross Levine was fighting, listen, I was watching Ross Levine. Don't try and come up and tell me like I was your guy. Come on now.
Right.
I'm glad that you remember that I was there. That's I appreciate that. But like, come on now. I can at least understand and put it in perspective. Like I wasn't. Come on now. But the problem is they're gonna look back 5, 10, 15 years, however long it's gonna be, and realize, did we really do that to him? How's that fair? That's not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't comment on it. You can't say anything to it. You can't.
No.
Let me do it. All right. You tell me if you want me to move on.
Well, no, I mean, I guess for me, it's just, I don't know. I just think, I don't think anything got tainted. I think it was just part of, to me, it was just really, I don't know, I would want people to get invested that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and the thing is, I don't think, because guess what? Once they announced Jake, once we battled it, that was all done. They let him have his moment. He had his moment, and it was on from there.
Yeah,
It was
just
really
that moment for the
really,
sport.
it was
get over
like
yourself.
30 seconds, right? When I
Yeah.
was going there. But anyways, let's move on. I think let's go into more biggest moments of the final. Actually, I want to talk about this. The Warrior. Let's just mention all the Warrior Cup winners. Let's go, because a lot of times we try to do the whole. We get lost and we go
You got
too
the
long
list in
when
front
we
of
do
you?
that, right? Let's talk about which Warrior Cup winners stood out the most. So let's name the 6 Warrior Cup winners. All right. So we have Avery Presley, won the Junior Weapons Warrior Cup. Give her a round of applause. We have the Matthew Grushia. He won the Junior Forums overall. Warrior Cup. Give him a round of applause.
Congratulations.
We have Jake Presley winning his 7th, which is insane. Winning his 7th Warrior Cup. Give him a round of applause. We have Salif Khalid ending the night, winning his Warrior Cup. Give him a round of applause.
That was a cool moment.
That was a cool moment, especially for him. Just that embrace with him and Sharky, seeing his instructor. And then we have the fighting winners, the defending champion, repeated, Katarina. Give her a round of applause.
Great fight.
And then we got
the
first time Warrior Cup winner, Bailey Murphy. Give him a round of applause. So those 6, congratulations, the big winners of the night.
All deserving.
To see that, to witness all that. What are some things that stood out about those wins for you?
There's a lot, but I can't get. We just don't have a week to go on. But there's something I want to mention. So, there was at one point, because after a karate tournament, ends, everybody's in this fog, like this mental and physical fog of like, hey, you want to get some food? Yeah, it's pizza. Chicago, is there pizza? There's a drink and it's in there. Hey, can I sit down? All right. That's what everybody basically is, right?
Yeah.
So by the time it settles down, you realize, okay, let's calm down. Oh, it's 1 a.m. What in the world was I thinking? All right.
Yeah.
But it's not like the finals gets over that much before that, right? So it's not like you really had much of an option. But anyway,
this one ended pretty good though. It was like
you get a couple hours. No, you get a few hours. You're okay. All right. But here's the funny part. So I'm hanging out. My homie Nick Schneider, he and Hunter, they're going over a bunch of stuff in the term. I'm just kind of sitting back behind them. I'm watching them on the screens. And then, I see Lauren Carney over there. She's having a conversation. There's a couple other guys over here is having a conversation. This is the funniest shit ever, right? And comes in the room, comes Reed Presley, Jackson Rudolph, all right, Gabrielle Don Rudolph, and Jake Presley. Just having a good time. We're just hanging out. Hey, guys, how's it going? And then we all realize, like, man, I'm tired. I'm going to bed, right? So we go to bed. And what's funny is Jake turns around to me and goes, hey, man, how do you feel with me tying your boy with Warrior Cups.
Yeah. Oh,
Right? He turns around at me and he says that we're all just kind of headed towards the elevator, and he stops, kind of turns on. And he goes, "Hey, how do you feel me tying your boy with Warrior Cups?" I go, "The cool part about what you just said is you recognize that he was my boy." Talking about Jackson Rudolph. Everybody
awesome.
laughed. We got it. I didn't say nothing because this is, I'm going to say, Jake, you're the bomb.
Yeah.
I don't want you to beat my boy. It's gonna be straight. Jackson, come back, man. Come on. Let's see what you got. Give us another one. Give
Jackson,
us another one.
come back one more.
One more. He gonna do one. No, man, it was a great time. It was a great one. But I got a lot to talk about with the fighting, both the men and the women. But you tell me, listen, because we gotta like go like this a little bit, like you and me. Tell me what direction we're going in, because I got a lot.
Well, again, I just said the Warrior Cup, the winners, right? So let's talk about Bailey versus Avery. Brett says is a fight that might be the best fight to watch right now. Two guys at the top of their game, and yeah, man, it was an epic fight. It went back and forth. It was a chess match, like Michael Simmons said, and that was just exciting to see. And two professionals putting on a show. That was great, you know.
You know what? And I said this
great comment as
to
well.
Avery as well. And I said, dude, he got a lot better. Like a lot better. And I'm like, holy crap, the champ. I always call him champ, right? I always said this. He got that much better. How does like the best get better? Like it's nutty, right? It's just nutty. Right.
I was thinking the same thing watching that. I was like,
he's so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoa.
Right. Like, I think what was crazy about it is it wasn't just that, like, all right, you see the best like improve on something. It's like we didn't have like every tournament this past year seeing him compete at every one. So you kind of see it little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. We didn't have that. You know, we got a couple things sprinkled, you know, over the past couple of years. But it was like all of a sudden here it is. And it's like, holy crap. You're the best. And I was trying to explain to people, I said, listen, if you would have said, hey, the Warrior Cup comes down to Bailey Murphy versus Avery Plowden in the end, and Bailey wins, that doesn't tell the story. That doesn't. No. And I cried saying this last week when we did the pod before we went on. It's like, if you were to just say, like I said, like Esteban Tremblay wins, like that doesn't tell the story. All right. The story was the fighting, both the men and the women at this tournament was some of the best. It really was. It was just crazy. But Avery Plowden exposed something. He exposed something in the Warrior Cup rules. So listen to this. So he goes and wins the open weight. And that division was so much fun, right? Yeah. Glad I got to be in there. So he exposes it by winning the open weight. Now he's on the north side of 30, so he can compete 30 plus. And then they tell him, if you compete in the 30 plus and win, then Enrique Latona will be in the Warrior Cup final. Because now they'll have a 30 plus winner. He'll be a 30 plus winner and an open weight winner. So the rule is the open weight runner up is in the final for the Warrior Cup. Right. So he goes, oh, well, I guess if I'm already in there, then I'm already in there. Right. So he doesn't do 30 plus. Kevin Walker does it and he wins, but I have more to talk about that. But anyway.
But didn't he? But time out. But didn't he?
He did.
All right.
He did.
Oh, but if he would have competed and won that, then the same thing would have happened.
The same thing would have happened.
Yeah.
So look at what he does. So he does. He competes. He wins the heavyweight grand. And this was crazy. So Alex Macias fought fantastic, right? Yeah. Didn't do one thing wrong. Wins the middleweight division. Kevin Walker was a 30 plus winner. All right. Look at Kevin's there. Kevin's involved in this too. Because Kevin won the 30 plus. Now Kevin wins the light middleweight division. He is kind of dinged up. He bows out to Alex Macias. But what if he beat him? What if there's not a rule in place for if somebody wins the 30 plus and the 18 plus?
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So now Avery or Kevin bows out and he was dinged up. Like his hip was, I see it. It was visibly bothering him. Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in the Warrior Cup final. Let's just stay that way. Okay. It doesn't incentivize him to fight in the 18 plus unless they tell him, if you win the heavyweight overall, now you have a bye into the final fight,
Which to me, it
which
should be. It
would
should
be fair. It
But
would
tell
be
me, Alex,
fair.
we've been saying this for the past since we've had a show because the
Yes.
same thing happened where they let who was it, Oscar on, right? And he ended up beating Coca, and he ended up beating Jack. And
Yes.
yeah, and because I guess it was Avery, right? That won both, and then I just don't get it. Give him a bye because you earned it. It's like, hey guys, you can do all these divisions, but you can only win one grand. You know, we've talked about
Yeah,
this.
in the forums, it doesn't work that way.
Well, no, but it also, they make you choose which one, right? Like again, I think Amanda Duarte should have been able to do her traditional weapon and her creative weapon in the Warrior Cup. She won both grands. She won both of those spots. Why can't she do that? You know, I just think that there's things like that. But
So Kevin bows out to Alex. He's dinged up.
Yeah.
Now Avery is going to fight Alex Macias, but Avery's already in. So if Avery beats Alex, now,
yes, form, sorry.
Then Enrique Latone gets to go in because he was the runner-up. So it really doesn't incentivize him to do that because Enrique Latone is no scrub, and that's not saying that he'd rather fight one or the other. It's just, why put yourself in this position? You're already in there. You're gaining nothing. You're gaining nothing.
Right.
So I think if there's something in place where if you win 2 of those spots, you can be in. But let's say this. What happens if Avery wins the open weight, the heavyweight overall, and the 30 plus? Who are we to say that couldn't have happened? He was the only one that didn't let that happen.
Right.
He only one person beat him. I mean, it was a pretty important person that beat him. It was a pretty important match.
Right.
But that's the thing. If he loses one time, that's it. It's over. He doesn't get a Warrior Cup.
Right.
But, we watched it happen where you can lose and win.
Yeah. Right.
And we're about having winners win. I'm not saying that if you didn't, like, you win the Warrior Cup, you win the Warrior Cup. You won the freaking Warrior Cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
listen.
anyways, let me just go back and clarify. I kind of misspoke on that because in that situation, that wasn't the case with Amanda. Sorry. But what I mean is, a lot of times, let's just say even the senior grand, let's just say, because Kevin Kowalczyk won like 3 forms divisions, right? And he gets to choose one. You know what? If he wants to do one, that's fine. If he wants to do 2, what was the point of me doing all those forms unless I have the opportunity to do it? If someone else would have won those, that would have been 7 people in the grands. It was already set for 7 people. So if you want 7 performers, be ready for that. I just think that that's just something that I feel like sometimes we change that because we wanted to run faster, right? And yes, that is the NBL speaking to me, and I think that's the good part of the NBL speaking to me.
There you go.
Because again, hey, if I won Japanese and Korean, why couldn't I do both, right? But yeah, so
right, you want to eliminate the competition, and local tournaments do this, where usually the way you would do it, old school. Remember this, Jeff? Of course, you remember old school because where you live, you're not that far away from people still kicking people in the groin, right? Yeah. So I remember decades ago, you won multiple form divisions going into a grand. The way they picked the draw was you would pick the cards, right?
Yeah, and you got like 6 cards if you won 6.
You get more than one card, and you get the ace. Like, oh, you're going first. No, I'm not, because I also get to pick this card. Oh, it looks like I got the 5. I'm going last, suckers.
Yeah.
Right.
But say if I won, so here's the deal. I could actually, so I get the draws, but if I want to, I want to do, because when we would do, let's just say, an open grands, right?
Sure.
Well, I won weapons and forms. I want to do both because who knows? Maybe I'll mess up on my first form, and I have another one that I'll be able to do. That's just kind of the way that it's done, and it was done before. So some people don't like that, some do, but oh well.
But then there's some things.
Hey, time out. That is messed up. Why are you calling your mom Kathy? What are you doing? Jackson?
If I ever called my mom by her first name, I don't know. Is she in the chat? Mom, what would you do if I called you by
Oh,
your
look at
first
this.
name?
Here we go. Why you
She's
calling
always
me
chiming in. Oh
mama?
my goodness.
He said, "I tagged you. I tagged
I
you,
don't even know
mama."
if I would do that.
Look at this. I knew we'd start some trouble in this show.
There would be a wooden spoon
Yeah.
nearby with my name on it. If I called my
Oh,
mom by her first name, which by the way, and then we'll move on, but this is a real thing. Jeff, I'm going to tell you this. This is a weird piece of Italian culture. Did you know that I was 30 years old before I knew my mom's real name? Let me repeat what I said. I
wow.
was 30
Wow.
years old when I knew my mom's real name. It was my mom's name was Patrice. Not exactly. So I see this weird chicken scratch letter, from an Italian person, wrote to my mom, and it said, "Dear Patrizia." And I said, "Mom, why do people call you that every now and then?" She goes, "Well, that's my name." And I'm like, "Go fish." No, your name's Patrice. Like, what are you talking about? She goes, "No, that's my American name. We changed our name when we moved to America just to make it more American."
Right.
And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Then I go down the line and realize I don't know any of my family members' real names. So weird. So anyway, I
That
know.
is
Funny
that
little
is
piece. Okay,
that
we
is
got so
good.
much more to talk about. We don't need to talk
Yeah.
about weird Italian names. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So one thing before that, happened earlier, which we need to just give a great. We're just going to send prayers for a speedy recovery and a good recovery for Jonah. He had just a bad accident when he did his first opening trick pass, messed his knee and leg up, a lot of different things that happened from that. And this dude was in the ER for like 7-8 hours before they even saw him. And it's just crazy. And this dude was just, a trooper. So let's just make sure that we send some prayers to him and his family. And I know that he was planning this being his last performance, his last tournament.
Was now.
So yeah, so it's but yeah, man, that was to me, that was the big shocker of the it was like, oh man, that's the one that kind of left for me. That's the one that kind of stopped the tournament for me, But from that, Matthew Grushia, who I've known again from the NBL days, back when he was like 6 years old. He used to compete with my son, and he ended up winning the whole thing. We had pretty much almost an all traditional overall Warrior Cup for the Junior Grands, and that was just awesome to see with those great competitors. Awesome, Joe. Yeah, I agree. The comeback's coming.
Okay, we've got so much to talk about. I do want to hit a little bit of the fighting, and I want to talk about it.
Yep, let's do it.
Tiny bit in sequence, and then we're gonna, hit on some things that happened. So, the teams were fun. I think they went. I don't think that's where the big things to talk about were. I think the biggest thing that we can talk about is that Enrique Latona is now on Diamond G3. You know what? No.
Yes.
Damien was mad at me. I don't want to say mad. Damien was like, what the heck, Dingman, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, dude, where do you think he's gonna go? You think he's gonna go here? You think he's gonna go to this team? He's like, you never even mentioned me. So it's all about the relationships, man, and it is about the relationships.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a fantastic fit for both of those two. I think Enrique will fight a lot better with Damien there. I respect Damien as a coach big time. And I think Damien's going to get the most out of Enrique, so I think it's, and not to say that anybody else didn't, because Enrique is very fantastic, but I just think it's a great fit for the team.
Well, I think it's a good fit for him for this next step in his life, his journey as a martial artist. All those guys, again, they all speak same language. They all,
that matters.
They all have something. They all have goals that they want to still achieve, right? And the thing is, Diamond has so many like mixtures that you could do on that team. Like their team that they had this weekend fought amazing and awesome. But then think about, hey, you can put Brayon in there. Hey, you can put Justice Floyd in there. Hey, you can put
all the
there's
Canadians.
more. Oh yeah, the Canadians in there.
We have like 3 different segments of that team. We
it's
got
insane.
we got our Latin friends. We got our Canadians. We got everybody else in the middle.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited to see how this is, and we got an epic team fight final with them versus JPM that went back and forth, and you know what, JPM came away with a win, which is a great win for them.
Yeah.
And you know what, like we keep forgetting, like Diamond is always in the final, it seems, so it's exciting to see that. All right, next thing about fighting.
Okay.
Please,
So
please.
you know what? I want to chat about the women for a little bit.
Yeah,
So
you were judging there a
I
good
was
amount.
judging there. Cool to judge with my homie Joe Boone. He and I were judging in the same ring the whole weekend. All right.
Yeah.
We literally did not stop. It was a lot. But anyway, it's always good. It's always a lot more fun to judge when you got someone with you. You got others with you that are really good too, because sometimes you're like, oh, this guy, I will just want him out of here, or he smells, or they're annoying. And you don't have any of that. Come on, don't even say this, Jeff. You've judged with some people before who've smelled.
Yeah.
And you're like, listen, I understand it's a karate tournament, but this is a hotel and there's a shower somewhere. Go find it.
Or I've been judging, and the competitors, like I've been in the corner and I could smell the competitor on the other side of the ring.
Oh.
Like, let's go.
Yeah. No. So the women were fantastic talent. One of the things I kept thinking, man, I wish she was here. Katana's flight got canceled because of the weather.
Yep.
Great talent. I wish she was there. And
Yep.
then Joe Greenhouse there. Love this guy. He was great.
Oh, yeah. He said
I'm
he was
gonna talk about Team Straight Up here in a second. But I just seeing Morgan Plowden, they're coaching, and this is what I do. I listen. And I've said this a lot. Like I listen, right? And I'm listening to the TPK Team Plowden Karate guys, and I'm listening to way Morgan, and then like in the back, Avery's yelling too. And it's such good coaching. And listen, I'm not going to name names on this one, but there's some coaching, and there was like a coach there that I am not kidding you. It was the worst I've ever heard in my life. I know I told you about this, right? It was the worst I've ever heard in my life. Just some stuff that doesn't even sound like the English language. I don't know. Sometimes, we got Spanish and like, they were English words. They meant to say things that made sense. But then when you repeat them, you're like, I don't think you've passed the 4th grade, right? So it's just crazy, right? So the talent was fantastic. What was the other one's name? Savannah. What is? How do you say?
Wolanoliak.
Bless you, right? Yeah. So she's a great kicker. She's a fantastic kicker. I think she was the best kicker of the weekend, right? Of all the women.
Men and female, or
the females, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I analyzed it, maybe the men, possibly, right? But that's what I'm thinking about specifically, right? Yeah. Katarina, fantastic. Katarina's been, that's what she pretty much exploited, last year. She was like, I'm taller than you. I'm a better kicker than you. So I'm going to pick my foot up, and I know you got a strategy, but I'm going to beat it anyway, right?
Right.
Well, Savannah's like, hey, I can do that too, and I think I'm better than you. And they went back and forth, and it was fantastic. But just all of them. I think what I was most impressed with the women was the talent. I was so impressed with the talent level, right? Overall, just leaps and bounds better. Now, when I'm talking about coaching, Bailey Murphy is a freaking genius. I'm going to say this. All right. So, no. Okay. Before I get to that, Mike Simmons, he's saying the Army team was very good. They're very good. All right. Yeah, all of them. All right. I really like them. So I think the talent level from everybody, no matter what team you're on, and even the people who weren't on teams like Zach Winder, right? Wow. Yeah. Look at him this weekend.
What a weekend he had.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. But the talent level, I'm very impressed with. But what I was about to touch on is Bailey Murphy. Like he's so smart, and I'm listening. And I'm not going to say what he said because it was very specific coaching against a specific fighter that I'll just kind of let that be there. but it was so spot on. And I started thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? I remember hearing about late in Kobe Bryant's career that guys would spend the summer training with Kobe Bryant, and they would just pay Kobe, and they would be like, listen, I'm training with you. And they would do that. Bailey should do that. Bailey talked about how he's never had a job. Dude, you don't need one. You don't need one. This is, well, you do need one. This is it.
This is
you need
job.
it, and we and the rest of the fighters need it. This is what you need to do. And you're gonna do your training, and I'll tell you, this is what you need to do right now. Guys are gonna sign up. They're gonna sign up to come train with you, and you don't go anywhere. They come to you, they put themselves up, they figure out where you're at, and then they pay to do it. Because I'm telling you, like, he was so perfectly spot on with what his assessments were and what he needed and what that person needed to do about it. Like, I was so impressed. But even with that being said, like, to say like, oh, he's a genius, nobody can beat him. Like, yeah, Avery Plowden almost did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not to say like, yeah, just because you're a genius, that doesn't mean like you're unbeatable. Yeah, you are. And some geniuses, some fighters are some of the smartest I've ever heard that were not wildly successful. Like, I remember Gregorio De Leo. He's one of the smartest, most genius coaches and fighters I'd ever heard. All right. And he won some stuff, right? He didn't have like decades worth of success like some of his
country mates.
Yeah. But anyway, that was fantastic. Seeing that. So the talent level was fantastic. Judged all the women the next day. So in a division with Katarina Herman, Savannah, what was it?
Yeah.
Yep. And Brianna Nurse, none of them won that division.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Remember when Brett Shumway was on and he was talking about, I would just watch like Chicago and Detroit just beat each other up, and then I would quietly win the division. That's what happened. I literally was thinking about that. I'm like, that's exactly what happened, right? So Jessica Sands, it's too late now, Jess. Sorry, I'm saying your name, right? So nobody really knew who she was, and she went out there and she had fantastic fights. She's just as tall. I think she's taller than both Savannah and Katarina, which definitely threw them off, right? So when she fought Savannah, she's like, people aren't supposed to be taller than me, right? And when you're that tall, you're pretty good at kicking, right? And she's good, right? So it was just crazy to see that. I think the final four women were Jessica. She won the highway. Let's just call it cruiser because there's nothing middle about it, right?
And then there was Mina.
Mina, she's really good. She's got a lot of good talent. Yamena. I'm trying to remember. It's who's the other one from Straight Up? Come on, Jeff. Yanni.
Yeah.
From Straight Up.
Yes, from Straight Up from Canada. It was.
And yeah, Joe, she is from NK, all right? But she's bounced around. She was actually in Florida for a long, long time. So she started in NK, but she's kind of, she's dealing with a lot of, martial artists who, turn professional and relocate. She goes there, she goes there, she goes here, she goes there. So she's been kind of all around. So and that was the final, but they did that thing too. So they had it because Katarina won the Warrior Cup, but she didn't win her division. She won the open weight.
Weight, yeah.
So look at how deep this thing gets, right? So cool. Yeah, Zach, your name is in the comments.
We just said you had a great performance, a great weekend, man. Keep it up, dude. You're doing the right stuff, dude.
I gave Zach some stuff I told him he should say that he should do. But I hope he takes me up on it. I think it's pretty sound advice, Zach. I'm just saying. All right, cool.
But Yamina ended up winning the women's overall.
She did.
And then so that meant those two went against each other. Now, at one point I thought they were adding the 30+ winner to this. Did they? Okay, I wasn't over there. So
yeah, Katarina beat him. But see, that's what was funny to me is they already had it lined up. They said, I didn't necessarily think that was fair the way that they already decided. They said that no, we're gonna have an 18 plus overall winner. We're gonna have a 30 plus winner, and then
Then the open weight.
the open weight. So they're gonna have 3.
Yeah.
Which I thought that doesn't seem
No.
fair, right?
Right.
You'd have like 2 18 plus fighters because you have like we'll just say heavyweight and lightweight, okay, and then you have the 30 plus and the open weight. Why
Yeah.
not just do it like we do with the men, right?
Right. But there's only one overall winner. They still have to get the overall winner somehow. And that's why. Yeah.
They have 4 divisions. They break it down to 2 at the end. Come on.
No, I know this, but what I'm saying for the grand. So if they did that, then they would
I
just
know,
have
that's
to put that
true.
in the finals. Is all I mean.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It would still work out the same way.
But then
Yeah.
You
just put those 2 fights in the finals. Anyways.
Okay.
Overall, women's was great. Who won the women's teams? It was the Katarina's team with her and Alexia.
Katarina and
Alexis, right?
Sure.
Alexis, right? From Florida. They had the top 10 uniform.
Sure. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you're right.
No, it wasn't.
Who was it then, Joe? Was she the other Canadian?
Straight
I
up
think
won
she was.
women's. Jeez. Karina Yana won women's. All right, here we go. See, I wasn't over there. I got false information. Sorry. And yes, Alexia Jimenez was the one that fought with her, but Karina and Yana won. Team straight up won.
Yeah, they were very good. Very well coached. Fantastic. Great performances too. Okay, so I want to talk about the 30 plus fighting for the men's, and I'll try and hit my bullet points so that I'm not dragging it on too long. So listen, we kind of said it was nutty to begin with that Avery Plowden is fighting in the 30 plus, but Kevin Walker freaking won the 30 plus, right?
Right.
It's like, what world are we in right now? So that you know what else? You know what other world we're in? We're in a world where Kodak came back to fight.
Yeah.
Fighting in the 40 plus.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
And had a matchup against Jermon Wiggins, who's also like a vampire. Like, this guy doesn't age at all, right?
No.
And you see the guy out there kicking, you're like, dude, it's the same. I even like, and I'm sorry. A couple people said this to me like at the tournament while I'm judging. And they're like, dude, just watching you judge is kind of funny because you just do whatever you feel. And I'm like, I know that, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, sometimes it'll just boom, stuff just comes out. Like, I make facial expressions and like body expressions that just like sometimes if something is annoying or if it's exciting, like I'll just do it sometimes. But I literally blurted out when these two were about to fight. I'm like, geez, this thing 2010. What's going on with these two fighting? Kodak Ray and Jermon Wiggins.
That's awesome.
They did not fight like it was 2010. They both fought like they were in the 40 plus. I know. And I was bummed. I'm like, come on, man. You sure you can't get it back together? Come on, I want to see you fight. I'm not out there fighting, so what can I say, right? So, yeah, they had, I think it was like less than 30 seconds into the match. They have an exchange in like, I think they get tied up, and Kodak falls on Jermon's quad and like Charlie horses the whole thing up. And he's like, I can't move, right? Gets a medic just to make sure it's not his hip. Right. He's like, no, dude, it's my whole quad. I can't walk. I can't move. And I'm like, well, we were just robbed of this.
Yeah.
Right. That's what happens. Like, you're out there, you're fighting, you're fantastic because you got all the skills. And then this is what happens when you're in the 40s and just randomly you're out there and something bit me. Right. Like you're Forrest Gump and someone shot you in the ass. Right.
Wow.
So, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Samantha Miller.
Was good contest.
Just hold on, guys. I'm just giving. Samantha Miller is the one that won the 30 plus women's overall. So give her kudos on that. Great job. She's won that several times over the past few tournaments. So keep up that great work. She's from the Claire. All right, go ahead on that next one.
Oh yeah, she and I talked about that too. Way to go. Great to meet you officially, by the way, Samantha. Okay. No, 30 plus was fantastic. Kevin Walker did not look like he was 30 plus, so it seemed a little unfair to the rest. But dude, that doesn't tell the full story either, though, because it was a match, man. There was a lot of them, and They're good, man.
Yeah.
The state and the talent is fantastic.
Yeah.
If we have organizational prep like we did for AKA this weekend, and the talent just keeps improving, this is just good things for the sport, man.
Exactly.
Good things.
Exactly.
So we're on the lighter side of things, okay? Because
Okay.
that's where I'm at. I missed the middleweights
In the heavyweight.
and the heavyweights because we were on opposite sides of the building.
Right.
Okay? So Zach Winder is that damn good. Okay. Oh, wait. Before I get to Zach. No. Mike, your fight with Trey Lazenby was amazing. Okay. So I said to Trey too, I'm like, holy crap, like it's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, you pulled me over and told me that. You were like, dude.
Trey's not fair, right?
Yeah.
He's that big, he's that strong, right? He's that fast, and not like fast, like moving around the ring fast,
Right.
like just explosive fast, right? And he gets that low to the ground. Like people shouldn't be able to do that, right?
Right.
And so at one point he walks past me and goes, Alex, I think I don't know if I have anything left for this stuff. And that was right after I just told you. I was like, dude, people shouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I got something to tell you, but I can't tell you until you're done fighting because it wouldn't be fair. All right. And then when he was done, I went and told him that. But no, what Mike was saying, like his fight with Trey Lazenby, dude, it was so much. It was just fun.
Yeah.
The whole division was just fun to watch. I had to look around at one point. I'm looking around like people are having so much fun watching karate, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see,
Right.
You never want like a semi-bored crowd. You never just want your people and that's it. You want the tournament invested in to the product that's out there. We were invested into it. It was very, very good.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. You're saying that about the 30 and 40 plus fighting. It's the same way. It's the same way in the forums. We are just having fun, man. Like you're looking at like our division. You have Kevin, Tim, myself. You know, you got Eric Tremblay, you got Joseph, but you got all of us just Nick Kane, everyone just having fun, and like are still really good. And in some ways, you know what, we're better than we were because we're smarter, right? And we know how to do things. We can coach so many people, and we create so many forums for other people that when it's time, sometimes when it's time to put on your own, for me, that's why I don't even create one for myself. I just go out there and feel the crowd and just do it because, you know, when you have to make up 2 new forms a week, it's a little hard. But anyways, I'm just saying the senior competitors.
That's for another conversation.
The senior competitors need to get more love and on both sides of it, fighting, forums, weapons, everything, male, female. So, but all right, let's go into that lighter side. Talk about Zach Winder.
The lighter side was, I mean, the super lightweights. There was not a lot. All right, so that was the only thing that I was like, okay, that's kind of a bummer. Where's my guy John Curatolo? Get your butt out here.
Right.
It's hard to come out and forego that Floridian weather to walk into this winter wonderland because it was all of that. But anyway,
-9 on Sunday when I was going to the airport.
Dude, you know what it was today? You know what it was? You know what it was out here? It was 18 below.
Good God.
18.
Crazy.
That's just what the temp was. That's not what the wind chill was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just nutty.
Because here's the deal. When I got off the airplane, it was -1 in Charlotte. It felt like 50 degrees compared to
in comparison.
Yeah, in comparison. Yeah. I took my hoodie and everything off. Everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, yo, it's hot.
You don't know what I just went through.
Yeah, you know what I just went through.
No, the lighter side was great. It was fantastic. Everybody, I would say the big standouts from the entire lighter side, it is Zach Winder, Bailey Murphy. You know, Enrique Latona was very good. I liked watching him, but I think it's just crazy. Bailey does have an answer, right? And I'm not saying that Bailey's always going to beat him, but I would put my money on him. You know, that's for sure.
Right.
And you know, people pushed Enrique a little bit. You know, And there was some surprises around the lighter side. Like Luis Nunez went out
Yeah.
first round.
That's
I
crazy.
didn't see that coming. Holy
No.
crap. That just tells you how deep the talent is, right?
Yeah.
And I love that guy. That guy is good. Because I
Yep.
try to explain it to people. Like if you were just standing around, well, it's for a lot of point fighters. I would
Right.
say this could be the case. If he was just standing around like in normal clothes, you wouldn't think that this guy is like a champion martial artist, right?
Right.
And then when you put him in the karate tournament, and then you put everybody in a karate uniform, which I have another thing to talk about with karate uniforms, by the way. But if you put him in a karate uniform and you were to look at the guy and say, like,
You're wrong on that one.
this guy is a champion, you'd be like, this guy, really?
Yeah.
Right? Like, no. This guy's the bomb, right? Like, okay, I guess, right? And so then you're like, oh, I guess, but no, he's very good. And I was kind of a bummer that he went out first round.
Yeah. Is that who fought him? Diego? Is that who?
Diego Sanchez beat a lot of people. Diego Sanchez was fantastic this weekend, right? Yes, he did beat him.
Came out of retirement from MMA to win point fight? No, not that Diego Sanchez.
No. But no, dude, he was very good. The whole straight up team has got an amazing bright future.
Yeah.
So and it's not just
Gomez, not Sanchez. No wonder.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I'm sorry. And that, please don't get on me about stereotype. I wasn't trying to. My eyes aren't great. I looked at the screen from across and I thought that's what it says. So my bad. I got the Z. My bad. But no, it's not just Bailey and Brandon, and then we'll find a guy. Because for a few years, that's kind of what it was. It was Bailey and Brandon, and we got someone. It's Bailey and Brandon, and we got someone. Okay. No, these kids are good. These kids are good, man.
Yeah.
Right. And Diego's just silly, right? Yeah. He's so tall and long. Like I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", right?
Wow.
He's so tall, right? And then you take guys like Hunter Stevens, right?
Yeah.
That kid's good. I got something to talk about with the Canadians, right? And I told this to him, right? Joe says he's got more surprises coming. So what are you gonna do? You got a time machine for Mike Pombero, and you're gonna bring him back in there too, or something? Look at this.
Joey's coming back.
He's gonna have something. He's gonna have something crazy.
Yeah, Joey's coming back.
No, I pulled Hunter aside and I said, dude, you guys are fantastic. And he goes, oh, it was great. No, like when I say you guys, I mean you, Nico, and the rest of your countrymen, right? You guys are fantastic. But you know the one thing that you guys got going against you is the fact that you're Canadian. And he looked at me strange. And I'm like, you guys are just too damn nice. It's like I was like, listen, if I was a judge who did this, and I wouldn't, but if I just saw you stuff someone with a sidekick and like fold them over, and I just said like no point, you wouldn't even say nothing. You wouldn't say nothing. You just like, oh, all right, get them next time, right? Like, it's okay to get a little upset, right? Just get a little upset, right? Just be like, come on, guys, what the heck? You know you saw that, and then just let it be done, right? Don't keep going, right? When it gets obnoxious, then it's like way over the top. But like they'll just say nothing, right?
That just must be the new generation, the new crop. I'm thinking in my head right now of Canadians that say something.
Man. I'm looking at the kids now. They'll say nothing.
Let's just say Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're coaches, they say something. No, yeah. Coaches, they didn't say nothing.
Oh,
no, they got a lot of great talent. I think all around it's very good. Normally there's like a cheeseburger or two in every division. There's a lot of them didn't have nothing, right? And for those of you guys who remember, a cheeseburger is someone who doesn't really know that they don't know. No, Brett, I haven't heard Canadians cussing French, but that would be a sight to see. Here's something I do want to talk about: the AAU guys.
Okay.
The AAU guys were happy to be there.
Yeah.
They're what they would think. They're fantastic kickers, right? Man, the things that they do with their leg, people have seen, but you definitely don't expect that you're going to see it and that you're not going to have an answer for it. Like, we've all seen guys who can do that. We've found them maybe once or twice, but these guys are so good. That's all they do. Like they do it. Everybody they know can do that, right? They don't know anybody who can't do what they do, right?
Right.
So when they're out there and they throw a double and then rechamber with a side kick that's flat at their eyeballs, right? You're like, what the heck is that? I've only seen like 2 guys do that. Everybody they know does that, right?
Right.
And I went to one guy and I was like, man, that's a bummer you went out early, man. Like, you're a fantastic kicker. Hey, good luck, man. I don't like, hope you do well. He's like, oh, if you're a fan, you're a fan of me. Hey, I'm gonna fight continuous over here. Why don't you come watch me over here? And I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. I'm not that big of a fan. I just wanted to give you a compliment, right? Not that big of a fan. I could kick too. All right.
Yeah,
Good job.
they were killing it over there in continuous too, man. It was wild over there. Yeah. Cannell got pulled over to judge that one, man. That was intense. It was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I know there's so much to touch on.
So much, so many great things.
Yeah,
Rashad had great fights.
Yeah.
I think Rashad, you should be more tempered in your exertion. All right. I think you overshot your energy level on the first match, that it was hard to keep it going in the matches after that. But hey, this is this old guy who doesn't really know much. But
some things that I saw, just some performances throughout that didn't make the finals. Cody Molina's combo form was amazing, outstanding. You had Philip was in the finals, but he's always exciting to see. Philip Brumet is always exciting to see during the daytime. Also, Jonathan Lins killed his performance. Also, Noah Grunswald, he was amazing this weekend. There were so many different ones that won or were successful. Let's see what Lucas from AKA with his nunchuck. There was just a lot of great performances from these young guys and kids. And then just crazy divisions again, Ben Jones, Dawson, Esteban, Salif, Will Never, all these guys, you got Colin O'Brien's first time in adults. There's just so much. Nolan. I don't know why I said Noah. There were so many just amazing performances, and they all have to work their butt off just to get a shot there,
and who came back to doing forms again was what I was excited to see was Mason Bumba.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't even see that. I didn't even know he did forms over there.
Good, dude.
Awesome. Did he did forms or he did weapons?
Weapons. That's okay, awesome. If he did forms, I didn't see it. I saw his weapons.
Okay, so we say, Luca moved up to it. Yeah, he moved up to men's, which was crazy. The women's divisions, the new females in there, Lily, she won the Korean challenge. That girl is going to be a threat. That was awesome. Seeing her win her Korean division and win the Korean challenge. Pia had a new form. See, I didn't even get to see this. I was competing all over the place too. And then, yes, we said Ben Jones doing Korean. Here we go. She said Judah had a new form and looked awesome. There was, oh man. Oh, here we go. Kaylin Kowalski came back and did her soft style. And that is how I know Kaylin the first time I really got to see her. And She had an amazing performance. And so it's going to be cool to get to see her do that more often, and get that improved and better as well. So, there were so many good things from that, and again, thank you to AKA for putting the men's and women's Korean challenge on the stage, as I won that one. And then Lily, who's brand new to the adult division, she won. Here we go. Leclerc gals, Amanda Duarte. Let's see. One of the girls that I work with, Olivia Kano, she was very successful this weekend, winning the Korean and the traditional division, which we'll call the Japanese division and the Korean division. What's cool is this was the first tournament where we had NASCA junior Korean divisions, the first ones ever. And
how'd that go?
It was, I would say, you know what? It was an experience for everyone, trying to figure out what the judges want, what the judges should be looking at. Yes, Pia won Korean forms. There was, many different ones where I saw that the center was really good, and the corners were looking at just height of kicks instead of technical ability of kicks. It's not just kicking high. It's more to that. It's also hands and and power and lines and timing. It's not the same. The timing has to change when you do a Korean form, and so there's a lot of things like that. And so I do feel like in certain ones that needs to happen. Right now, again, Diego, you're saying that on that one division. I'm talking about there was a bunch of other ones. So sometimes I saw the center being good. Sometimes I saw, honestly, in my ring, it was solid all the way through, right? But again, I'm just going to tell you, like in the Korean Challenge, the first round, I got 2 9s and a 5. So, hey, it could happen anytime. You just never know, right? What the judges are looking for. So I think the more that we look at this and the more they see this and understand, and I feel like these people with experience like a Joey, like some of the other ones that have a good Korean background, they need to coach these people on how to judge this. And it's not just high kicks, Go
because
ahead.
you said something. You mentioned something that we just say in passing too much. You said, what the judges were looking for. It doesn't matter what the judges are looking for. They shouldn't look for anything.
True.
They should just see what is there and judge that.
That's true.
Because the judges are looking for kicks that are dang near vertical. And there's only one person in the division that can get close to that, but isn't the best. It doesn't matter if they're looking for that.
No.
Right?
That's
so,
true.
and I think the way you closed that, statement was that, judges need to be coached.
Yep.
And that's important. And I like that other organizations have like a grading system for their judges. Like you can be a C level judge, a B level judge, an A level judge. And it's something to be accomplished. But to do that, we have to have it needs to be tangible, like a tangible outcome. Like you did this, like, and in fighting, it's easier to tell because there's contact or not.
Right.
You can tell like, this one, and the person going forward always gets it. Like, no, that's not always true. Okay. So we need to talk about that.
Right.
It's not just always the person who moves forward. They don't all automatically get it. Right. You don't just give points just because someone's fast. Right.
Right.
You can be fast and run and not punch. I shouldn't get a point. Right. Just like the same in forms. Like we should have, there should be something tangible is that this is better.
Right.
This is better than that.
Yeah.
And this is why. And
maybe
that's your next lot in life, Jeff. Maybe that's your thing.
Jason says a good thing. Too many Korean styles still perform like a Japanese style, but
it's a process.
It's a process. But considering that they've had to change it for so many times, right?
And be now, Japanese themselves.
So
not that we don't want that division, by the way.
What do we not?
Japanese.
Oh no, we like the Japanese division. But what I'm saying is it's just that way, right? And I also think that there's some that, let's say, they are known as the Japanese competitor. Just like for me, I feel like I'm also a 5th degree in Shotokan as well as Taekwondo. And I like to do my Shotokan form sometimes. But I feel if I go and do that, people are going to look at me as a Korean guy doing Shotokan, and no matter what, even if I'm doing the right time or not, it's just you have that appearance of being that person. That's what you're known for, right? Like, again, I still think people forgot that I do open forms and stuff. And so we're surprised about
just nutty
my performance, right? So again, I just think it's interesting, but I do agree, and there's just, and I think it's okay for people to do both. People may hate me on that, but it's okay because it's all about being a martial artist.
No, I agree with you. I agree.
And Gary, I do want to give a shout out to Amber, Jenna, and Cameron for winning Team Sync. That was awesome. They had a great performance. Just a great lineup of talent with JPM and the Molinos, and just overall, just fantastic there.
Wait, you see Damien in the chat? Damien, I want you to give me a level. What level I get, Damien?
Are we
What
asking
level judge
Damien?
am I?
Or are we asking Joseph Greenhollow? Joe, come back, Joseph. Come back, Joe.
Joe will give me a Q level judge.
Yeah, he was all over me, telling me, "All right, I'm gonna be on your show, and I'm gonna be dogging Alex. He's got it coming." Oh man.
You know what? 5.
Is that out of a 5 or out of 10?
Yeah, 5 stars. That's what I
That's-
get. 5 out of 5.
Oh man, everyone vote on Alex.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that too.
Oh man.
Um,
Oh, you may be a
hey,
better films judge.
can we? Before, I think
All
we
right,
would be
I'm gonna
remiss.
finish this. Yeah.
1.5. Get out of here.
Dang.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the epic performance after the tournament.
Oh yes, we need to talk about this.
So this is a real thing.
Oh,
Okay, so
man.
I'm going to give the context of what happened, right? So, because there's a tiny backstory, but I love Mike Simmons. That was that was the best comment, by the way. But no, so listen, I kind of speak every now and then, like this other company that I got, Third Shift DJs, which I love. It's fantastic. But anyway, I started running some weddings in Minnesota. My homie Joe Boone come along with me. And he came along with me one time, and he's like, "Dude, I'm in. You guys, I want in on this." Okay, so I'm like, "Okay, cool. You for real? You want in?" He goes, "Yep, yep." He goes, "I need another hobby too," which I told him was one of the things that I loved the most when I got into it. When Nick Schneider gave me the plug and really kind of, got my feet wet. I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, then here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna book you some gigs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you. I'm just gonna don't even worry about getting anything. I'm gonna buy everything and send it to you. All right." So he goes, "But I don't know how to use it." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm bringing all the gear to AKA. I'm going to set it up in the hotel room, and we're going to start playing around. I just bring a small little battery powered speaker. I won't even bring real cables. We'll just do like a wireless XLR, just a wireless connection. It's no big deal, no problem. And we're doing it, and he's starting to get the hang of it because he's got really good music knowledge, right? So I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is cool." So then we're just hanging out, yada da 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 yada da da at the tournament. "Oh, did you see this guy?" Right? And someone's like, "Dude, why don't you bring the gear out?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Come bring it out right here. DJ right here in the lobby." And I'm like, "Don't tempt me. I'll do it." And they're like, "Do it." So I'm like, "Let's go." So went up to the room, grabbed the gear. You know what I had to I had to unplug the ATM so I could plug something in.
Oh
and
my
actually
God.
plug it in. So I plug in my stuff. I don't even do the full set. I set it up as quick as possible. Get it all set up. Here we go. There we are. Get the controller all set up. And this is a brand new controller I've never used before, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm using it for the first time live. Like, I better be good, which I don't even know if I was that good. So I knew, and we all knew it was going to happen, right, Jeff? We knew hotel was going to get pissed, which they did. Right? It wasn't even that loud. Was it that loud?
No, I thought that was cool that they hired you to do that. I thought AKA hired you as the DJ because I came down later because
It looked like they hired me.
Yeah, I just thought,
That's even better.
Yeah.
No, they did not. No. But so then I was probably going for like a half hour, right? And then someone comes up and they're like, "Dude, what are you here? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know. Karate tournament. This, that guy, I don't know." That's basically what I said. And so then I can't remember his name. Someone from John Sharkey's school came over to me. He's like, "Alex, what the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." And he goes, you can't be here." I'm like, "Oh, my bad." I just kept mixing. And then hotel comes by and they're like, "Dude, you got to shut it down. You're not supposed to be here. Why are you here?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't know." And I just kept going. Till finally there was like 6 of them like surrounded me.
Surrounded
Right?
you.
And I'm like, all right, I get it. It's up. To the point where she literally unplugs my stuff. I was so mad. Right?
Oh man.
But I got over it. So it was a fun time. It was cool.
That was I came at the end of the set. I came when you were getting shut down. So
yeah. I didn't even get to play great tracks. I mean, they were pretty fun, but they weren't like fantastic.
Oh man.
I matched a couple things together, but it was all right.
That's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, overall, man, it was a great Warrior Cup. It was a great time. And you know what? Like, it's fun because we're all excited because we're ready to kick off the new season. kick everything off. The banquet was good. The
Yeah, tell me about
Friday
the banquet.
was good. It was just a good time. I mean, it's what it is. Everybody's dressed up. Everyone's having fun, and
Who was the best dressed at the banquet?
I don't know, man. There was a lot of people. There was like the biggest banquet they said they've ever had. Especially,
Really?
yeah, it said over 600, something like that, people there, or that were getting awards. So yeah, so it was a
That's
lot.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So definitely a big event overall. Lots of fun. And one quick shout out before we go, and he wasn't even there, but I feel like he doesn't get brought up enough as an amazing coach. And that is Will Canizzato. That would be my competitor or coach of the week. Will Canizzato, this guy has produced so many great champions out of his school. Obviously, Mark Canizzato, his son, an all-time great. Well,
Big time. I like that dude.
Haley Glass, one of the who could go down as the greatest women's forms competitor. Very well could be, right? One of the best junior competitors ever from his school, right? Mr. William is the man. You got these two people, and then you have. It's just cool to see so much talent from his school that are out there on the circuit, doing it. They're on many different teams. You have Jada Cloud, you have Forums fighters, you got Peyton Fender, you have Jaden. There's so many great ones and competitors from this school. I mean, there's so many to name. I'd probably get lost doing it, but I just think that he needs to be mentioned as as someone who's contributed a lot to the sport and to the great art. And yeah, he's a great guy. So
I love the way you said that. So then I'm sitting here, got wheels turning. Who would I say would have been the coach if I had to pick a different coach?
Oh,
I
nice.
think-
Yes, I heard about that too there, Jason. That's right. Go ahead.
It's kind of a toss-up for me. It might be Damian Rodriguez. Although some of what he said was in Spanish, so I can't understand it. So I don't know. Sorry, Damian. Bailey. The little bit that I heard Avery yelling was absolute gold advice. He was
Yeah.
yelling at Mina, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like,
He always says the right
I'm
things.
judging her, hearing what she should be doing. Sorry, Mina. She didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Right.
Yeah.
And no, it didn't happen.
And Jaden Rashad is the newest member of Revolution as well. So
Oh, word.
yep. So there's a lot of new guys from Will's school that getting picked up.
I guess I'd probably have to say Damian Rodriguez, who is the best coach of the weekend. That would be my coach.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome, man. Awesome. It was an action-packed weekend. Lots of fun. I felt like I was all over the place. Just kick, Alex will call it. That's the best, Damien. That's the best.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey
guys, tell us if there's anything real quick before we wrap this up. Is there anything that we're missing? Because I promised Jeff we're going to be 90 minutes at least.
Yeah, I just know for me, one of the cool things at AKA is, especially since it's the first one of the year, you see so many different people doing private lessons and teaching. And it's not just one person that's doing all the privates or whatever. Like there were multiple people with 8 to 10 private lessons during this weekend, probably more than 10 to 15 coaches being able to do that. And I think that's great for the sport. That everyone it's not just everyone learning from one person. There's so many different ones out there. And I think that's what's exciting. And hopefully we're getting to see more variety in forms, weapons, fightings, and everyone having their own style. So I didn't get to see, was there anything with the concussion protocol that you saw?
The concussion protocol bothers me because there was guys that you can clearly tell they're not there. And here's what bothers me about the concussion protocol. What bothers me is they check the eyes and then they talk to him and they seem okay. And then they go, yeah, he's good. And then we have to say, listen, this guy was like stumbling all around, was saying some just silly stuff before you got here. And then they say, oh, yeah, well, we didn't see any of that. I go, well, okay, well, then this is a broken system, right?
Right.
Because I'm watching a guy who I know is possibly pretty concussed, and we're just going to let this happen. We're all just going to sit back and let this happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we need to work on that more.
But what I tell, because I've had this scenario before where I've had guys that have been, you know, like that. And by the way, when you get concussed and you come back, sometimes you know that you just got it. And I talk to them and I go, listen, do you thanks, Joe. And I ask them, I go, listen, do you want to keep going? And if they don't give me like I know, but I want to keep fighting. Like, okay. All right. If they say that, then I'm like, all right, then just shut up. Don't say another word. Because you'll incriminate yourself. This is true. I'm telling you how easy this is to beat their protocol. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Don't look them in the eye. Right. And just keep moving. Keep moving. Keep bouncing like you're gonna fight. Right. And you'll be fine. Right. But now if I haven't got enough, I think that they're all messed up. I'm like, okay, man, we gotta call this stuff. We're just walking and your legs shook. Like you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a couple of guys who were kind of like that. And I'm like, we'll just watch this take place. This is not okay. So I do wish that there's a better system in place. I was talking about, you know, we're going to use them as a standard for this because they're the better fighting tournament, the Irish Open, the way they do it. They have medics watching a ring at all times.
Right.
At all times, they're watching them. So they can tell right away, like, no, I watched the whole thing transpire. I know if they're all, you know, if they're good to go or if no, they should be stepping out. So,
yeah. Well, I hope that gets better. And yeah, Joe, you're right. The underbelts divisions were way larger this year. And thanks, Chris. Yeah, that's cool. Check out Compete's Instagram page, man. They are killing it, putting out a lot of old school videos from back in the day, and some great ones that I had never seen before. Like I was there, but I've never seen a video of it. Like 1996, 1993, 2005 Compete. I never saw that video. I forgot I even did that. I forgot that I even did some crazy things that I did there. Like,
what'd you do?
It just sounds ridiculous me even saying it. So you know how I'll do my leg up and I'm standing up, right?
Yeah.
And I'll do this. Well, remember how I was also doing kicks on my knee? So I did my multiple kicks on my knee, and then I went to my knee, and then I did that from my knee. Yeah, I know.
Held your heel up over your head?
Yeah, I put while I was on my knee, not standing up. So imagine, like, I don't even know how I even did that, and then fell into a split because there was nowhere else I was going after that. I know. I didn't.
Your only option.
Yeah, I forgot I even did that. Okay, so I was the first and only time and last time that I ever did that. That was nuts. Like, why the heck I did that, I have no idea. But yeah, nuts. I was just trying to further go to that next level. But yeah, crazy. But wow. Yeah, he's got some reels there with me and Steven Horst doing kicks. So, but all right, guys, we will see you Wednesday for Peyton's Extra Scoop. And next week, are we going to do the interview next week? We got to check. Hopefully we have that interview next week. So it's going to be an exciting year for Inside Scoop and Sport Karate. Congrats to all the Warrior Cup winners. Congrats to all the teams, all the coaches, all the judges, the promoters. Keep it up, guys.
Dude, lots of love. Everybody kept talking about the pod. Everybody kept talking about the Martial Arts Center Network. Love the pod. You and Jeff because you're funny.
Yes,
Jeff, I'm serious. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you clearly listen then. Good job.
All right, let's wrap it up.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.